Hello, 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 and welcome to Bauer Beauty, the founder of BauerBeautyCompany.com, which is a skincare company and educational resource. If you're interested in the most amazing formulas that you've ever tried in your entire life and you have sensitive skin that dislikes fragrance and other bullshit in skincare, then you're going to want to check out my products linked in the description box. In this video, I will be doing this makeup look. I'll be walking through a few of the products, but also all the products are going to be linked below for you because I'm not going to be talking about the products necessarily throughout the duration of the video. But then I just go into kind of a deep dive of kind of like a rambly chit chat about what is going on in my brain, in my life experience right now. If you are interested in that, then continue to watch this video and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as well. It really helps my channel out a lot. I'm into hoops again. Okay, so I just did my hair. Which means usually I like to do my hair while my rollers are still in. However, it's not the case today. So I'm trying these clips. They're supposed to not crease your hair. So you can literally do this exact thing. Okay, so I don't have an intention for my video today. I just wanted to jump on here and catch up and do a little chit chat. I feel like some of my older videos, I was better at chit chatting, but I also had a smaller audience and it was easier for me to do little chit chat videos when my audience was smaller. Now it's just a little bit different. We'll see how this goes. It's just gonna be a little get ready with me chit chat. This is matcha with mud water. If you guys haven't seen mud water, it's like this, supposed to be this coffee alternative that I got that's definitely not a coffee alternative, but it does help you to focus. It increases focus, not as great as other things. It's really kind of mediocre, but it's fun to add to things. So this is matcha and mud water and a little bit of coconut milk, almond milk, and water. Okay, so I'm gonna do my makeup. I'm gonna go right in with, this is the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Blurring Serum. I have never used this, I have had this for a while. As usual, I buy things and I don't touch them because I'm like, but I don't wanna try something new. What if it looks bad? And I don't wanna take a risk, but I'm just gonna try this because this is a day where I'm not going anywhere. I'm just playing with makeup. If you guys don't already know, the Simply Ageless line, I'm obsessed with their foundation. And I really like their primer too. So I wanted to try this. This is specifically to blur pores, but it's not like a typical silicone primer. So anyways, I'm just gonna put it in my T-zone because that's where I would want the blurring to take place. Right now, the only thing I have on is the Trader Joe's SPF 40, which I did hear is hard to find. It has been at my Trader Joe's since day one. And when I went the other day, there were probably 8 or 10 left. And it was like the hoarder in me really wanted to buy one just in case, they would run out. But I'm sure they're gonna make more, right? They freaking better make more. It's like probably my favorite sunscreen. At first glance, this is really blurring pretty well. I do smell a little bit of a scent, but not a deal breaker, not a big deal. I'm just gonna let that dry for one moment. It looks good. I mean, I have no complaints. It looks like it blurred the pores, what it's supposed to do. We're gonna have to see how it looks layered under other things. Right now I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer. It's Tinted Moisturizer SPF 20. I don't go for this on a regular basis because I don't care for my foundations to have SPF. I think it's nice, but it's not gonna be an incentive. Performance is really what matters to me when it comes to skin tints, especially during the day, at all times. That's the only thing that matters to me is performance. I don't really care too much about sunscreen because I'm wearing sunscreen already. But I actually really like this tinted moisturizer. It's just not my go-to. I really do like this tinted moisturizer. I don't know why, I just don't really go for it. It's called a tinted moisturizer, but it really is more like pigmented than a tinted moisturizer, I think. I mean, it looks nice. It's kind of like watery. I actually really love it. And I thought I remembered it being like more pigmented. It's really not too pigmented, which is what I like. I don't want super pigmented, especially in the summer, in the heat, no. Medium coverage is like the most coverage I will ever do, and that is good for like evening. This is what it looks like. I had a different impression of it. I thought it was more medium coverage, and just from applying it right now, I can definitely see that it's very light coverage. It is kind of like watery thin. I'm gonna show you guys right now. It even begins to drip down the hand a little bit, so you can tell it's more watery viscosity. But when you rub it out, I think this is where my first impression came in. When you rub it out, even though it does get to like a see-through, transparent type of pigment, it feels creamy, it feels thick. So I think when I've like just swatched it and played with it before, it's like, yeah, I do see it's transparent for the most part, but it's also creamy. I kind of was feeling like it might be too heavy for day-to-day use, so I actually have not used it since I have moved here. It's been 3 months, and if you don't know, if if you don't usually follow my channel, I moved to Miami 3 months ago from Detroit. And so changed my products up a lot. This is actually really nice and it looks completely sheer. I would definitely wear this during the day, even though I think this shade is too pale for me. I've gotten slightly tan since I have moved here, not intentionally. Okay, next I am gonna go in with concealer. This is the El Makiage Fuck I'm Flawless concealer. It's nice, it's really nice. It's very creamy. It's very creamy and also pigmented. How does this look? Bright, huh? It looks a little bright. I've had these shorter nails on recently and I love how I can like do normal things. Like I can, my building requires fingerprint to get in everywhere and I can actually use my damn fingerprint to get in everywhere without my nail getting in the way. I can get into my inner corner. It's great, but it's not gonna last. I'm gonna change my nails. So I'm gonna put coppering because I just feel like being crazy. Coppering is one of my favorite shadows. I just love it. It's so funny when I watch these, like how we did our makeup in 2016 versus how we do our makeup in 2020. It's like, I actually still feel like I do my makeup in some ways, like stuck in 2016, but I don't really like, I've evolved my makeup technique obviously, but then I'm also like, what looks good on me, I just do. Whether it's 2016 or 2080, I don't know. So I love warm shadows. I always have loved warm shadows. It's like the same shadows that I have right now in my, like, this is like my favorite palette from like MAC and it's been compiled from like MAC and Makeup Geek and it's in the Z palette. I've had some of these shades since I was like in high school. Not much has changed. Literally, not much has changed. Oh my God, this is hot, right? But it's not for like everyday use, and I always press it on. This shadow and like other shadows are better pressed on. The thing about this eyeshadow, it's like, I just wish I could put it all over my whole face. I feel like when I put it on, I'm like, but that's not enough. I want more of it. I want more of it because it's just so good. Maybe I should put more in the inner corner. I was trying to do like an outer corner type of thing, but do you know what else is so amazing and like on par with, almost on par with this? Do I even have this freaking palette now that I think about it? I'm sure, I don't know if I brought it. The Modern Renaissance palette. This palette is also like just the most beautiful freaking colors. I feel like I'm back in 2015 with this freaking, with what I'm talking about, which is so boring. I'm literally so boring right now. I wonder what this would look like if I put it on my mouth. I'm gonna try that. Do we love this? Can't tell. Okay. Was that a bad idea? We don't know. We definitely don't know. Okay, we are distracted central. You know, the issue is like, I want to film, but I just have nothing to fucking talk about. And I have everything to talk about, but I have nothing to talk about because everything that I find interesting, I'm processing. I don't have a real world application, and I really only talk about real world application. I mean, sometimes I talk about theory for sure, but I really don't like hypothesizing. I like talking about the things that I have done. I do like theory. I get excited about theory, but I like practical application. Why does copper look so fucking good on me? It really does, I'm not gonna lie. I need to go sharpen this liner, but it might not happen. You can be in a purgatory and still enjoy life. I think that is my current mission right now, is kind of the ability to be in a state of purgatory, meaning your crops have not grown and you can still be enjoying life and you can still be happy. Because it's like, I feel stagnant in so many areas. I'm not a complainer, I don't like to complain. And so when I feel stagnant or when I feel like I'm in a learning phase of life, I actually am not outgoing, and therefore I don't film. I don't film during those time periods because I am in processing mode. I'm like in a mode where I am like trying to figure out why something feels off. It's like being in the state of life where you are not where you want to be and you're annoyed because you have grown these new needs and now you can't even meet your own needs. It's when you're in the state of life where you feel like you can't meet your own needs, where you feel like your needs are not met by the world and the universe. And it's like figuring out how to enjoy life regardless. So this is kind of like the state that I feel. And so when I'm in these states, I'm like, I don't fucking know what's going on. And so it's not that I don't have anything to talk about, it's that I don't want to say anything that I don't 100% know for a fact. It's like always been this blockage for me of being like, if I don't know and I haven't done it, then I don't want to talk about it, because what am I going to talk about? Like, fuck am I gonna talk about? I like to talk about things that I know for a fact. That has never changed. I'm obsessed with this look. It's fucking scary when you don't know if you're gonna be able to get what you want. It's like, my current mission is trying to figure out how to enjoy the moment, because I look back at so many motherfucking sections of my life and I'm like, you weren't even there. You weren't even present. You were so concerned about what was coming next. You were so concerned about not getting what you want. It happens to people. Time just goes so fast, you know, blah, 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 all those things that we say. This Dior blush is insane. I don't get it. I do not get it. Why did that go on weird? Did I splooge it there? What the hell is that? It looks like significantly darker right there. I know it's so cliche to say, but it's like gratitude. It's focusing on gratitude, because the thing is there are things that we're experiencing now that we don't even know that it's not possible to have. There are things that you have right now that you are not going to have one day, and you're not even going to realize that you're not going to have it one day, or you're not going to realize how fucking amazing it was until you lose it. And that's going to be perpetually your life until you learn how to appreciate the moment. So I go through periods of time where I'm like not present. I think that's a struggle for a lot of people, staying in the present moment. Staying in the present moment is really effing important, and it's very hard to do. What the hell is this freaking, I'm just wondering, am I just stoned, or is this really a darker splodge? We don't effing know. We do not effing know. But this mascara, pretty freaking good. I really like the brush, but it's almost like my lashes are too big for this. It just takes a long time to apply, but it looks amazing when you do apply it, when you take the time to apply it. Learning how to dance in the rain. God, it's so cliche, but it's like, I think this is the key to life. Okay, so what else do we need to do to the face? I can't believe I did not put any bronzer on. Are you serious right now? I think we need just a scotch. I feel like scotch has been a major word in my vocabulary. I've needed a lot of scotches recently. I don't know, I'm going through it right now. I'm fucking had a mental breakdown over the last like 2 weeks actually, like a full-on mental breakdown. And it's not a bad thing. It's like, you have to kind of have little mental breakdowns if you want anything to freaking change in your life. If you're not having breakdowns, you're not evolving. And what I mean by breakdown is like you're questioning your whole damn existence. Because the thing is that we cannot see the color of our own eyes. This is this phrase, you cannot see the color of your own eyes. And what that means is without a mirror, without something to mirror your reflection back to, you can't see the color of your eyes, because your eyes are what you see with. That is how the universe works. Therefore, you cannot see where you're going wrong. You cannot see the things you're doing wrong. Everybody is doing something wrong, right? In their lives, they can always be improving. You can always be improving is a better way to say it. You can always be improving, and we all want to continue to grow and expand and create. So that's like one of our main purposes, is to grow and expand. And therefore, in order to grow where you want to grow and how you want to grow and to reach your full potential, you have to be able to see yourself clearly. Therefore, if you want to reach your full potential, you have to be willing to look at your flaws and look at where you can improve. And the only way that you're going to be able to achieve that is by looking in the reflection. And the reflection in this case is the universe. Holy bitch, my hair and makeup look amazing. Oh my God, my hair color is fire. My highlight is fire. Like the whole situation, the whole motherfucking situation. Look at how scared Puffy's getting because he heard my voice raise. Now, quick break to tell you, I just applied the Gloss Drip by Kylie Cosmetics. This is my first Kylie Cosmetics purchase since I bought the new relaunch of Candy K. Remember, it was gone for years, and then I purchased it a year or two ago, whenever that relaunch was. It's so good. It's thick. It's so thick that it makes your lips just look like glass. It covers in all the creases and stuff. It's just glass. You can't really see the color because I have the copper underneath. This is just a light, transparent baby pink. Well, I can confirm these clips are kind of amazing. I don't see any creasing, and it left it like how I like it, away from my face a little bit. Okay, so yeah, learning to dance in the rain. You can spend a lot of time in this state too, and that's why you have to want what you have. That's like the phrase that I keep repeating. Want what you have, want what you have. Want what you have. It's like, I have created an amazing fucking life and I cannot appreciate it. I really cannot appreciate it. I can't even appreciate the moment. I can't appreciate the moment of me at this income level because I'm like, no, I need like 5 times this amount now. It makes me so uncomfortable to be like this transparent because I don't actually talk about the negative things in my head. Usually what I talk about are the things that I already know for sure. Like I said, it's like usually I stick to, let's talk about the scientific shit, meaning things I can prove personally. I have proven it. I have done it. I know this for a fact. Versus what I'm talking right now are kind of things that I don't effing know. And it makes me like very uncomfortable to be like, I don't know actually what I'm talking about. I don't know how to accomplish what I want to accomplish. Because like what I'm talking about right now is just kind of like things I don't know. And it makes me feel like, oh no, I don't want to talk about things I don't know. That sounds not a great idea. But I just had the instinct to. So apparently that's what we're doing. I just had to go intercept my dog eating a bee outside. Is that what you were doing, baby doggy? You were eating a bee, right? Tell the people. Tell the people. My angel was about to eat a bee and I had to intercept it. It looks like it's gonna rain and I'm so fucking here for it. I have been so synchronized with this weather here. Holy crap. It's like when I feel like shit, when I feel like a recluse, like it is cloudy. It's actually perfect because this season is the rainy season and the cloudy season in Miami, and it's like good because that's how I feel. I definitely feel more introverted during these time periods, and there have been time periods in my life where I call it like it's the germination phase. So there's a cycle. And this is true with any type of education. You go through a period of theory, learning theory, and then you go through a practicum, a stage of theory and a stage of practicum. So the theory, you're learning, you're observing, you're like figuring out, you're curious, you're searching, you're just ingesting as much as possible. In the practicum phase, you are actively applying the things that you know and that you've learned. And so, what's this stupid ass dog barking right now? And so yes, usually at those time periods of like theory, learning theory, I just zip it. I just do not talk. That is why I'm on social media less. You'll see I'm on social media less during certain time periods, and that's why. Okay, I just applied some setting spray and changed my entire situation and a battery. Okay, so what were we chatting about? We were chatting about basically figuring out how to dance in the rain, whatever you want to call it. Because since that's most of life, what I call the rain, what I'm referring to as the rain, are periods of your life when you have outgrown your current situation, meaning you have developed new needs. All your needs are met. When all your needs are met, you develop new needs. That's just what happens. Like some periods of my life, I go through things and I love sharing them. I love sharing the things that I have like applied. During the practicum time, I love sharing things that I have learned. But then eventually it's like, I'm learning new things. So you gotta read the signs of the external world. Going back to what I was talking about before, understanding that the world is your mirror. Your experience is your mirror. Therefore, you have to interpret your experiences in order to figure out the person that you are, in order to figure out how to evolve. You have to figure out how the person you are is contributing to your experience, basically, because your experience is 100% a result of you. And therefore, you have to figure out what is it that needs to evolve about you? Who do you need to become in order to live a different experience is the core question. Who do you need to become? And that's something that I've been pondering is like, who do I need to become? How do I need to think? What are these behaviors that I need to be doing? And like one of the core ones is appreciation. Like, God, I just want to be obsessed with the moment. I don't care if I don't have like everything that I want right now, okay? Because I've always been impatient in that regard. Like I really want everything I want right away, but you can't always control the time. You can't control the time. It's just like breakouts. It's like, if I just had this thing, I would feel better. I would look better. I would be happier. Whatever the thing is, fill in the blank. You would be the thing that you want. Once you have this thing, once you've accomplished this thing, once you've achieved this goal, once you achieve clear skin, once you achieve more money, once you achieve whatever the thing is that you are attached to, once you achieve that, you think that your life will be better. It's not that it won't be, but it's not ultimately going to be. Because ultimately it's like you are pursuing these things because you think that you're gonna get a feeling or get a thing that you are missing from achieving this thing. And actually you don't get that thing. You don't ever get that fulfilled by things that you're chasing. Once you understand that, like once you resonate with that, the fact that you are chasing that outcome, you are attached to achieving that thing because you want to feel that particular thing inside of you. Once you like understand that's at the core of why you're doing what you're doing, and then you understand that you are not going to achieve that piece of the puzzle by getting that external thing, then you can begin to understand this philosophy of detaching. For example, right now it's like I recognize I have done so many of the goals that I set for myself, like so many of the things that I was attached to in the past, you know, money being one of them, acne being one of them. I already know when I get those things, this thing inside of me isn't going to go away. This thing inside of me can only go away by having the switch flick internally. You have to become peaceful first, because otherwise you're going to continue to chase things, and you are not going to ever get to the state that you're trying to get to, because you're constantly looking outside in order to get to that state. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't strive towards those things. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have those goals. It doesn't mean that those goals are not part of your core life purpose or your core desire in life, but it just means that attachment grows out of a void. And if you are not filling that void yourself, you're going to constantly get attached to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And attachment breeds unhappiness and resentment for the present moment, disconnection from what's actually happening in front of your eyes, which is going back to what we were talking about before, which is not being able to appreciate the present moment, not being able to actually squeeze the juice out of life, because you're always looking to what's next and what's next and what's next, and that is caused from the void inside. So that void is never going to be ever healed by getting an external goal. That thing that you want, that you are attached to getting, that you think that that thing is going to give you that thing that you want so bad, is evidence that you have a void. So you have to find out what the void is. And this leads me into my next topic, which is I have been re-obsessed with Martha Beck. Addicted. I have like love affairs with things. I'm like consumed with something and then I just don't even think about it forever, maybe for years, maybe for months. Martha Beck, I got obsessed with when I was living in Chicago back in 2010. And I remember this because I would ride my bike around the city and listen to her audiobook over and over and over again. It's called Finding Your North Star. I think that's the book. I got re-obsessed with her recently. I have not read anything of hers since then until recently. Now it's like that's all I watch is her videos. So the book that I got re-obsessed with recently is called The Way of Integrity. This resonated so fucking deeply because it's all about living basically double lives, which I very much do. I live multiple like double lives. Like I was saying about before, how I like to be a recluse. It's like when I'm in recluse mode, I do not talk about what's going on in my internal world. I do not talk about it. I talk only about things that I can prove that I've done. Not necessarily just about like getting on camera and being transparent, but it's like being transparent in my everyday life. Like I don't even like to talk about things that I'm going through ever with people. I keep everything kind of like internalized and internal until I have fully processed it. And so that resonated with me. And then also just like kind of like partially like the whole idea of being socially acceptable, like trying to stay within the boundaries of what you know is socially acceptable because you're afraid to go out of the boundaries of what is socially acceptable. And I've struggled with that too recently. Not just recently, like probably for a while now. Trying to fit into an image, trying to fit into something that I think that is socially acceptable. Okay. So my point is when I heard her talk about the way of integrity, I was like, what? No fucking way. Because she's basically saying like all psychological suffering comes from the fragmented self, which is loss of integrity with one's self. Basically her book, her theory is you have a void created basically because you're not being true to yourself. She grew up in a Mormon LDS cult basically, and then she wound up like going to Harvard when she was like 16. she went polar opposite, right, from her upbringing as a Mormon. She went to Harvard. So these are two polar opposite ends of the spectrum. But she was like, I actually don't identify with any of this. She was talking about how like she was trying to fit in at Harvard. She was trying to fit in the Mormon community. And she was like miserable. This whole book that she wrote is based on her application, her interpretation and application of Dante's Divine Comedy. And Dante's Inferno, basically, she interpreted as going into the hell that is your worst nightmares, going into those worst nightmares, exploring and going in deeply into all of those things that you're deeply afraid of. And as you come out on the other side, you wind up living in more bliss when you live in full integrity. And she says, we lose our integrity by trying to be good. We don't lose our integrity by being bad. We lose our integrity by trying to be good. It's exactly like when she was trying to fit into these different social circles, right, that she did not fit in. We all have experience with that. We all are so socially dependent that we adapt to our environment, despite what our integrity says, despite what we feel, despite what we know, despite what we think. We will adapt into different social circles just to be accepted, just to be part of the social circle. So she said this is the source of all psychological suffering. And this is my theory. My theory is, if you can be in integrity with yourself, then you can fill that void. If you can be in integrity with yourself, in full integrity with yourself, that means doing exactly what you feel is right for you, and in alignment with what is right for you and what you think and what you want, despite what culture says. You can become peaceful, and then you can align with people who also align with the things that you value, that you believe in. But while you are trying to fit into these different social circles, or while you are trying to fit into these worlds that don't suit you, because you're living a double life, you secretly want something else, you secretly think something else, you secretly are someone else internally, it creates like a very fucked up reality, because you are not living in true alignment with your integrity. And she says that as soon as you go back to peace, you automatically attract all the things you want. When you are in peace, the things don't come to you when you're in angst. The things don't come to you when you're in anxiety. They come to you when you're in peace. And that's why you have to take it first, and then it comes second. And you feel it, right? Like, you feel like this is so fucking annoying. I feel like I just have all these things suppressed inside of me, trying to become like this person that is socially acceptable, and I'm still not even feeling like I'm accepted socially, because I'm not actually in alignment with people who are valuing the same things as me. Does that make sense? So that's why it creates suffering, because we're creating suffering for ourselves, because we're telling ourselves that we need this thing, this one specific thing that we're attached to, in order to get the life that we want. But really, once we get there, we're just going to get more of what we already have, because we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. We are asking for things from the void instead of asking for things from a peaceful place of integrity. After you get your basic needs met, okay? Because once you get your basic needs met, everything after that is like, is that Maslow's hierarchy? It's like the hierarchy of needs. Once you get your basic needs met, everything after that is kind of like a little bit optional. Your basic needs are like your survival needs, the things that like you absolutely cannot live without, but everything above and beyond that is like really a matter of the way that you think and how well you can advance through that hierarchy of needs. So this is my theory. My theory is achieving like genuine peace, happiness, prosperity, satisfaction with life, like a ultimate like I've arrived energy. That feeling, it's like, do you ever get that feeling? Are you ever gonna fucking get that feeling? Because I've gotten that feeling a couple times, but it's like, what are we doing? Living for those couple moments when you're like, oh, I achieved that goal. How long does that feeling last? You know, it doesn't last that long. Those moments are so few and far between. You could never ever justify like spending your time sacrificing the majority of your life for those moments. That would be so irrational and stupid. You have to find a way to dance in the rain. Like, not dance in the rain, because it's like you shouldn't even interpret it as rain. It should be more like seek to be fulfilled then you don't have to worry about your outside circumstances fulfilling you. My goal is to be obsessed with my life. When you are obsessed with your life, nothing else matters. It's not even about learning how to dance in the rain, because fuck that. Like, if you look at your life as rain, then that's a problem. Like, obviously there's going to be periods of your life that you are going to think are worse than others, but it doesn't matter. This is what I'm putting into place. This is what I'm practicing. What is integrity to me? What does that mean to me? What is true for me? How do I practice that in the world? How do I show up in the world from a place of integrity, not a place of needing something from the world, from a place of like authenticity? How do I show up in the most authentic way to me, and doing the things that are true to me, and saying the things that are true to me, and living in accordance with my truth, and with a sense of detachment from the outside world, because I cannot get what I want from the outside world. I will never achieve it. I will only achieve what I want from the inside world. And I think that my inside world begins to feel complete when I am in integrity with myself, because then I am loving myself fully and accepting myself fully. This is my hypothesis. This is my theory. So this is what I'm putting into place and putting into practice. So yeah, this is kind of like the transformation that I'm presently going through, but I've gone through so many since I have moved here. It's been constant. It's like, first I manifested this place, and then ever since then it's been like an internal journey of, okay, now what am I manifesting? I'm manifesting more money. I'm manifesting growing my company. I'm manifesting a relationship. I'm manifesting friendships. I'm manifesting, those are the main things I'm manifesting right now. And it's like, why can't I manifest them as fast as I manifest in my apartment? Like, there should be no reason, like technically no reason why I shouldn't be able to manifest those things like right now. Why can't I have those things right now? And I think that this also comes back to like survival needs and attachment, because I wasn't attached to finding a house. I was like, it's a non-negotiable. It's happening. It needs to happen now. It was just kind of like my survival needs need to be met. But like with the other needs that I mentioned, they are not survival needs. I don't view them as survival needs. I view them as like an ascendance of consciousness, an ascendance of the soul and the spirit, an evolution of my spirit, an evolution of my soul and me as a human. But I don't view those things as survival needs, even though I think that relationships are actually part of your survival needs. But I have relationships, but I'm still like, why can't I manifest those things as fast? And that frustrates me. But then I'm like, yeah, maybe they're not actually technically survival needs, but it's like, then again, I don't need to only manifest my survival needs instantly. You know, I could have that same conviction with other things as well, but for some reason I just don't. I think when you ascend, I think the ascension of the soul, it just is such a sophisticated thing. I think survival and primal needs and primal instincts, like those are easy for me, but it's like the sophistication of achieving like something vague, like happiness and peace. Those types of things are more sophisticated, and that's why it's like it's fine-tuning your own internal world in order to achieve that. Because the thing is, like everything, it's claimed before it's received. It's claimed before it's received. You have to know what you want. This is like one of the most annoying things. You have to know what you want. If you do not know what you want, you are going to be all over the place. Okay? You have to know what the fuck you want. And it's very frustrating when you don't know what you want, because you can't just figure it out. Sometimes you just basically don't know what you want for a long period of time. And that is quite annoying. It's quite annoying. Because you're like, I want to move this show on the road. I want to get to the next level. I want to go to the next phase, but I don't know what I want. And I have to know what I want in order to get there. It's one of the key principles of manifesting. And you have to be able to picture it. You have to be able to visualize it. And you have to be able to see it. And that's not saying visualization creates manifestation. It's that you can visualize the thing that you want very easily, and then it appears. So it's like, does the cart come before the horse? And it certainly does. Is that the right saying? I don't know why that's the saying. The chicken before the egg makes more sense to me. You know, because it's like, well, do I need this to achieve this, or do I achieve this and then I get that? Because only the person who's coming from a place of need and desperation asks for, I don't know and I don't care, I just want it to come so I can feel better. I don't care what it is, I just want something so that I can feel better. That's like a place of desperation, and that's coming from a void. That's like asking from a void, and therefore that's not really, like, you're not actually gonna be able to get anything besides disappointment in that state. You have to really have your mind set on a specific goal and then work towards that goal every day with the detachment that it's already in the bag. But you can't manufacture that. You can't manufacture, like, what do you want? Can't manufacture it. You have to know exactly what you want, and then you have to figure out what are the action steps that you need to take in order to get there, and then just understand that it's coming. That's literally it. So the first part is the hardest, figuring out what you want, and that's why I say it requires a higher level of sophistication, because you have to know what you want, and therefore, in order to know what you want, you need to be in integrity. For example, you have to be asking from the right place. So I'm gonna go, because I think I've talked for 17 hours now. Puffy has taken 3 naps. I have changed my battery 6 times. I have to go get my brand new box of HelloFresh. Yes, I am trying HelloFresh finally. They are freaking discriminatory against single people, because they are like, these meals are just for 2 people. So you can get 4 meals is the minimum for 2 people each. So basically 4 meals that are big enough that you can cook and then have leftovers. And so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm used to having like individual pre-packaged meals, but we're gonna give HelloFresh a shot. So yeah, this was a little chit chat. Welcome to my brain. It's been extremely, extremely interesting the last few months. And if you have made it till the end, thanks for listening to all of this. I hope it resonated. And leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're going through. If you're going through anything, would love to hear the things that you're working on in life, and if that resonates with you or not. Let me know if you've heard of Martha Beck and get her book, The Way of Integrity. If this resonates with you, you're going to be obsessed with that book. But if not, you can also watch her channel. I'll link it below, and it's so good. I have just been consuming her content like crazy. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.